All right. The purpose of this video is going to be to kind of define how you might get started with a brand new unpublished class and what things you might consider looking at as you go started. So you can see on my dashboard from before, I have my courses that are published, as in the students that are enrolled in them can see them, and/or I can see them as a student, depending on here. And you can see I have my unpublished courses. These are courses that have not yet been made available to the students that are enrolled in them. And this is what you get when you first log into Canvas and you've not published any of your courses. So we're going to take a look at all the pieces of that process to setting up your class and what you might look at. So I'm going to click my first one here. So this is my English first period. And you can see the publish button up front starts here for when you're ready. Actually, it's probably worth going back for a second to look at my back button. Will take me back there clearly. And we're going to look at what is in the three dots. Now, I have some extra options in here. So I can change the color tile. I can move my position here. I can also just drag this around, right? Just like I can reorder my classes up here if that makes some kind of a difference to you. Those are all good options. We can also see I've got some settings down here. Right, so for example, discussions that might come up. So different icons that set me up around what's going on in this class. So that's worth noting. Also, it's Canvas best practice to add a background to your tile for the students to be able to click. So we'll get into that piece as well while we're setting up our class. All right, so I'll go ahead and click in here. Now, as I'm in my class here, you can see that it's defaulting to modules, right? But I don't have any modules. It's showing my course status is unpublished and where I can publish it and so forth. You can see I hit the student view. This will be useful for when we want to look at our class and see what it looks like, how our students will see them. And then all of these menus down here as well, right? So I can import existing content. This is good if you've used Canvas before and you have, you're bringing in content from your other classes or from other years. We can import from Commons. That'll be a later video explaining that more, but that's basically from sort of the general spaces that different users of Canvas have shared their content. So this is like importing from your own content. This is importing from other people's content. Choosing homepage, that's something we'll get into real specifically. That is going to be important for deciding sort of how you set up what you want your students to first see when they log into your Canvas course and how you want to direct them. Course stream, new announcements, analytics, view course notifications, all of those make sense. And calendar is useful if you're so interested in that feature. Now, along the left side column here, you can see all the possible menu options I have for my Canvas page. So you can see that, I've got starts with home and it goes all the way down here to additional features that I have here down to settings. Now, lots and lots of options, and depending on the grade level you're working with here, you can have more or less of these enabled. And so right now we can see here that there's this image of the circle with the slash through it there, the eye, which means that this is sort of hidden from my students that would be joining this class. So they wouldn't see these show up on their menu bar. You'd be able to observe that in student view. So actually, if I press student view, we'll see let's see what we get. Right, so we can see this is what it would look like. It would just kind of say the baseline here for English 7, Volar 1, all of that, and then all the menu options I had that were enabled for students of my class to see, but not the ones that are not enabled for them. So for example, I know announcements is one that was hidden. So if you decide you don't need to use that feature, there you go, it's hidden. Okay. I'll go ahead and leave student view now so I can get back to setting up my class. And a good first move for us would be to go down to that settings option like we were looking at here. And as I drag this out of the way to get to that, there we go. And as I get to that, I'm going to go ahead and click these settings, and this will let me set up some of the basic information I want to set up for my Canvas course. So this is my course image here. I could choose one to set that up. So I'll show you all how to do that in a later function. You can also see that I have all of these different options along the top feature here. For other menu options we'll get into, there are just so many to choose from. Okay. Going through here. Yep, we can see our start and end date for our classes are important to set up accurately, as in we want students to be able to view them or not be able to view them at a certain time. Language setting, Grade scheme. This is important. If you're going to, as you use the Canvas gradebook, that is a recommended benefit of using Canvas is you should use the gradebook, right? So this is something to enable, and you can actually set up the parameters for what your grading scheme is. You should make sure they match your department and the school district policy around grade scheme. So it has a default one that Canvas has set up. So for example, right there, a minus is less than a 94 here and greater than a 90. So that is different than the parameters I know that are set for my school and within the the 7th grade English history department. So I would need to change this to match. That's pretty easy. If you plot one in there, you can pick it from before, and you can manage this one as well. So that's something we can change. For example, if I wanted to say that, the A minus, for example, started at 89.5, I would change that in there, and then it would adjust on this end. And so those are the kind of changes I would make. And I can name this grade scheme. Default is a fine name, and there we go. So that's grade scheme. Okay. So we've got our grade scheme enabled, license, visibility, all of that. Good, good. Mastery paths, that's a more complex piece for us to get into later. We're going to hit update course details. Saving my information here. As I click on the choose image feature here, you can see that it lets me pick either images from my computer. So if you already have an image saved to your device that you'd like to use, you can use this. And you have Unsplash is also an easy search engine piece here I can use to get some quick images if I just want to find something. So you can see I typed in the word English here and it gave me some options. So for example, if I know that, I just want this picture of text here, I'll just click that. And now that's become the image for my course. And I can update course details and see that there. Great. Clicking through my other menu options here, you can see my new section. Yep. Navigation. So this is where we had the option for what we wanted our students to see and not see and what we wanted to use or whatnot. So this is where I could disable different features or move the order and sequence around. So drag items here if we want to hide them from the student. So for example, if I want to take off IXL, Edpuzzle, Discovery Education, Class Dojo. I could keep going, right? New analytics, maybe big blue button. And then, maybe you want to prioritize certain ones. So maybe I want announcements up here. I want modules to be my second one because that's how they're going to access the assignments. And actually, I'm going to take assignments off because maybe I don't want them to get there, right? So you could keep dragging this around until you get to the feature you want. Or get to the organization or layout that you really, really want your students to see. So, this is an important step we'd want to clarify in setting up here. So that's good there. I can see down my way here that I have the save option. So I'll go ahead and hit save with that. And that lets me save this part of my settings that I was just looking at in navigation. Okay, we'll hit apps. And this is all, we can sort it by not installed and installed. And these are great. These are actually, there's a lot of really, really good Canvas apps I would recommend, kind of experiment with different ones that you like or that you need to install. So for example, Edpuzzle is a very useful tool that there'll be training available on later. So I'd highly recommend making sure you have the apps you might want to use installed here. So for example, you could see Edpuzzle, Pear Deck, and YouTube are ones that come up for me frequently. Google Apps, very, very useful. So I would make sure of that and explore some of your not installed ones. All right, we'll also go ahead and look at our feature options here. Okay, and integrations right now. Okay, so that gets us set through the top menu here. And I'll say that's a good place to stop with settings. And we'll watch the next video for more about setting up some of the different aspects of your individual Canvas class.